Toronto, this is the GBN Television News. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
This is the GBN Television News for Tuesday, July 20th, 2021. I'm Chrislyn, Lashington. In the headlines, trade union senator reject motion tabled in the Senate as he says his motion seeking to discontinue mandatory vaccines was altered. Government conducting its first trial runs of the COVID-19 vaccine ID. Cabinet agrees to a moratorium and a halt to the addition of new buses to the sector as a means of support. And in around the globe, St. Lucia Labour Party promises to reduce income tax ahead of the July 26th general elections. And at least 35 people killed and dozens wounded in suicide bomber attack in Baghdad. Coming up in sports, swimming duo reunited in Tokyo as they prepare to represent Grenada in the Olympic Games set to begin in 3 days. Details right after this message.
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. Labour Senator Andre Lewis has alleged that a motion standing in his name has been seemingly hijacked. During the recent sitting of the Upper House of Parliament, Senator Lewis stated that he knew nothing about the tabled motion, which was a far cry from the original motion. Jared Joseph has that story.
There is a motion that is purportedly standing in my name on this other papers that I know absolutely nothing about.
These were some of the missing parts in the original motion to be tabled by Senator Andre Lewis.
And whereas in light of the above, making the vaccination mandatory may lead ultimately to more industrial disputes and confrontation between employer and employee, which will not be in the best interest of the country at this time.
Senator Lewis impressed that the original motion was included in the order paper on June 2nd. However, the motion was not tabled due to accepted reasons.
2 should be that no worker should suffer any loss of benefits, pay, etc., for not taking the vaccine. 3, that where workers are coerced into taking the vaccine, the employer should be liable where there are adverse reactions associated with vaccination.
GBN, as is customary, receives a copy of the order paper and relating documents from the Grenada Houses of Parliament.
4, employers must consider securing adequate health insurance for all workers in the face of the new challenge brought on by COVID-19. 5, that there should be at least 2 brands of vaccine to allow for choices on the part of those wishing to be vaccinated. 6, that workers who are not vaccinated ought to be tested periodically and be required and expected to function in accordance with strict enforcement of the protocols. 7, that the state ought to put measures in place to support a proactive education campaign throughout Grenada, Carriacou and Petit-Martinique to highlight the pros and cons of taking the vaccine.
The senator noted that the integrity of the clerk of Parliament and his staff is not in question. He said the clerk was immediately notified of the incorrect motion on July 9th and promised to remedy the mistakes or inconsistencies. However, up to the date of the Senate sitting, no corrections were made. Senator Lewis highlighted that due to the incorrect motion, it was not debated. President of the Senate, Chester Humphrey, in providing clarity, acknowledged that an error occurred during the process of sending out the order paper, which caused a withdrawn motion to be included.
It was a genuine mistake made at the clerk's office, for which the clerk has taken ownership. These things do happen. And I am satisfied that there was no nefarious other activities or goings on that is responsible for this.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Opposition Senator Rolanda McQueen says she is for vaccination in Grenada, but believes that enough has not been done to properly educate the population on the subject. The senator, along with a medical doctor from the United States, Kenneth Roberts, gave their 2 pence on the matter. More in this report.
Newly appointed senator to the opposition, Rolanda McQueen, has made her stand as it relates to vaccination in Grenada. The senator, who is fully vaccinated, is in full support of getting Grenada to its herd immunity stage, but believes that the choice of vaccination should be that of the people and not anyone else. In a recent press conference, McQueen said that vaccination can bring the country back to some normalcy.
Many people said that they don't plan to take the vaccine, citing fears about safety and concern about the vaccine being so new. I believe the vaccine can help us to return to some form of normal after almost a year and a half of very strenuous circumstances across all sectors of our society.
McQueen stated that recent debates over the pros and cons of vaccination has been riddled with fear, mistrust, and lack of clear factual information, making it difficult for Grenadians to make the right choice when it comes to the AstraZeneca vaccine. She said the present strategy should be changed.
Instead of politicians playing games with the minds of people, medical experts must be deployed across the country in all communities to speak with the people while addressing their fears, their concern, and the desperate need for clarity. When the government itself appears suspicious in its approach and rumors circulating that not all government ministers have taken the vaccine, then these conspiracy theories will find fertile ground in the people's fear and mistrust. In our haste to reopen the country fully, let us not forget that Grenada exists for its citizens, and true cooperation and involvement of the citizens does not come from fear or bullying.
Also at the media conference was Dr. Kenneth Roberts, a medical doctor and regional medical director in the Vedant North region from the United States. Roberts, who also had Grenadian parents, spoke of COVID-19 and his medical experiences in North Carolina.
Concern. Many people hear a lot of different things on social media, especially that caused doubt and a lot of fear. How in my community in North Carolina, how we have combated this was simply by getting out to the people, healthcare professionals, and speaking to people about what the problems are.
The press conference was held on Tuesday, July 20th. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
The Ministry of Health has conducted its first trial run of the COVID-19 vaccine ID. That's according to Minister for Health Nicholas Steele. More in this report.
Are looking at a pilot late this week, between today and the end of the week, to launch a pilot where we would have a picture ID vaccination card for those who choose to get one. It is not mandatory, but it really will facilitate individuals who want to go to fully vaccinated events.
The announcement of government's plan to introduce identification cards for people who take the COVID-19 vaccine was first announced by Health Minister Nicholas Steele on June 1st. This plan is now well on its trial and implementation stages, as disclosed by Minister Steele on Tuesday during government's weekly post-cabinet briefing.
Last week there was a trial run on the electronic version of the vaccine ID. The site went up for a while, and individuals, quite a lot of individuals, accessed it to check, and so. And I'm hoping that it will be permanently up this week. Should be back up, if not today, by tomorrow for the electronic version. And we're hoping by the end of this week to begin a trial on the actual vaccine hard ID, picture ID.
During the trial stages, some gray spots were identified, and so the minister is encouraging people to make adjustments and changes where necessary.
We are seeing some issues where individuals, when they came for their second dose, the name was spelled differently, or middle initial was used as opposed to middle name or so, and that has created some issues with the system. So it is very possible that individuals, when they're checking, they may only see one dose. What that means is based on the way they have put their name on, that the system is picking up one version of that, and that they would just need to come in, verify with the ministry, so that we can make the adjustments as to whether it was a spelling error in entering their names, leaving out the middle initial, or an error with the date of birth or so.
Minister Steele explained the type of vaccine ID and where persons can access it.
So persons can go online, they will get an electronic version of their vaccination card or vaccination ID. The reason for it, it's giving two versions: the fully electronic version that persons can keep on their phone or print out on a piece of paper, and a ID style similar to your driver's license, same size, for portability and integrity. Either system is linked to what is called a QR code that allows anybody anywhere in the world to verify the validity of it. In scanning the QR code, it immediately queries our database and will verify the information that is on the card, so a person can't fake the information.
Chrislyn John, GBN News.
There was no additional cost in the recent internal rebranding of the Grenada Tourism Authority. So says Chairman Barry Collymore, who instead impressed that the GTA had witnessed cost savings through the allocation of their budget to specialists in particular areas. Collymore also highlighted that the new Chief Executive Officer, Petra Roach, will have the full reign of her position. A mentorship program was highlighted during the recent sit-down with the media. Let's get the details.
Consolidating the marketing of Grenada via specialists has garnered immediate returns, such as being upgraded to the United Kingdom's green list for travel. GTA Chairman Barry Collymore said the recent changes within the organization have facilitated an expansion of the marketing team for Grenada. Collymore was fully confident in the team that has been put together to be led by the new CEO. He also addressed concerns of the daily operations being led by the minister or board of directors.
Let me give you an example of what happened before. We did not have a substantive marketing manager and had not had one for over a year. So that meant then that the board had a committee made up of a number of volunteers who helped the marketing team manage and perform the job of marketing manager. All of that now we will no longer need to do.
As part of the new structure, CEO Petra Roach noted that talent acquisition is a high point on their agenda. Emil Edwards was appointed as the Grenadian face in the UK under the GTA's newly introduced mentorship program.
It's very important that we look now to getting youngsters who are bright and who are passionate and who are energetic to come into the organisation and to be given a really strong, solid foundation.
Roach said the mentorship program will be open to any member of the GTA team.
It obviously is giving access in terms of number of man-hours each week with the senior management team, including myself, having exposure to these international companies and going in and working as insets to see how they run their businesses and what their priorities are.
The CEO impressed that this program forms part of the rebranding and refocusing efforts of the GTA to become the gold standard of being the best and having the best employees in the industry. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
The transport sector and small business operators stand to benefit from a two-part initiative geared towards supporting them. Let's get more.
With the challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on various sectors, the transport sector, too, has been hard hit. Minister for Infrastructure Nolan Cox says they are working on a two-part initiative that will help them out of their present situation.
However, the Ministry of Finance, with support from the Caribbean Development Bank, we are currently working on a COVID-19 relief support to provide support not only to the omnibus sector, but also small businesses. And that support is in the form of a very soft loan.
He explained how it works.
Some of the persons who have challenges, who would have taken a moratorium from their lending institutions and are now faced with extra charges, that they can borrow such monies to pay out those interest charges that they incurred at a repayment rate of just I think 1.5%, and they have 3 years grace period to start to repay.
The final details on how much can be accessed are still being worked on, he says.
They have asked us to put a halt on the adding new buses into the sector so as to minimize the competitiveness. Cabinet, at the same time, coincidentally, we are working on a market study with support from the Caribbean Development Bank, and that coincide with their requests for a moratorium. And Cabinet have decided to accede to such. We are looking towards commencing with the moratorium from the 1st of August.
As it relates to concession for bus operators, the minister says they have been engaging in extensive discussions. Chrislyn John, GBN News.
This is News at 7. Coming up, the Child Protection Authority is calling for an increase in foster parents. Stay with us.
Take your shot and get back to your life. Take your shot and get back to your life. Take your shot, take your shot, take your shot, get back to your life. Take your shot, take your shot, take your shot, get back to your life. Take your shot, take your shot, take your shot, get back to your life. Take your shot, take your shot, take your shot, get back to your life.
A message from Republic Bank.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low? For one, we size our transformers just for what we need, and we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LED. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in.
How do you know if it is working?
We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
Energizing our Grenada. Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable, and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
Get ready for the most anticipated event this summer. YDG Premium All-Inclusive Fest. Tropical Hawaiian. The White Edition. On Saturday, July 31st from 5 p.m.
Tantine Plainfield.
Featuring 2 live bands.
Solid and Octane.
With Grenada's top soca acts.
Looney Sparks and Electrify.
Rockadad. Your DJs Danny and Kevon. Advance tickets $350. Available at gotofat.com
or our main office on Bruce Street Mall.
Saturday, July 31st. YDT Premium All-Inclusive Fest. This This is not just a fact, it's an event. Please note all patrons must be fully vaccinated.
Seriously, there's a better way to beat the heat. Get an air condition unit at Quartz, starting at $1,199. Get free installation on your purchase. Plus, with Ready Finance, you can shop now and pay nothing for 60 days. Quartz, bringing value home. Conditions apply.
Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Take your shot and get back to your life. Take your shot and get back to your life. Take your shot, take your shot, take your shot, get back to your life. Take your shot, take your shot, take your shot, get back to your life. Take your shot, take your shot, take your shot, get back to your life. Take your shot, take your shot, take your shot, get back to your life.
A message from Republic Bank.
The Child Protection Authority is calling for an increase in foster parents as the number of children in state care vastly outweighs the number of foster carers in Grenada.
Foster care is widely referred to as a system in which a minor has been placed into a ward, state-certified caregiver, referred to as a foster parent, or with a family member approved by the state. The placement of the child is normally arranged through the government or a social service agency. Foster care is intended to be a short-term solution until a permanent placement can be made. Alternative Care Supervisor at the Child Protection Authority, Chanel Phillip, says it is part of CPA's mandate to make sure that children who have been removed from their family homes have the best care available to them through its foster care system.
Child Protection Authority is mandated by the Child Protection and Adoption Act to safeguard and protect all children at risk of or suffering from abuse. So under that mandate, part of our work is having investigations into family life, and if absolutely necessary, the children are removed from their family homes for their safety and protection. When that happens, we need foster carers to help look after those children while they cannot be with their birth family. Currently, we have about 200 children in state care, and we have about 64 foster carers, with half of those being kinship carers, which means that they only care for their family. So that leaves my number of foster carers just to foster any child who comes into the system at a very low, approximately 30. So we're in desperate need of carers to assist us with the children who are coming into the system.
When asked about the requirements to be a foster parent, Phillip elaborated.
In the initial stage, the only requirement is that you're aged between 21 and 70. Anything after that is an individual assessment basis. So you can be married, you can be single, you can be renting, you can own your home, you can live with your family, i.e. your parents, could be, all your individual circumstances will be assessed individually. So once you've filled out an application form, you'll be then contacted by a child protection officer who will come and meet with you and see your home, see the space that it is you say you have to offer to give the child. And we'll do an in-depth assessment with you, talking about your childhood, your past relationships, your views on religion, your views on punishing a child, on corporal punishment as it's known.
Adoption will also be one of the focuses of the authorities' drive to inform Grenadians on its processes. Phillips says adoption is the final resort after foster care if a child cannot be returned to a home.
You can adopt a child in Grenada. And as I said earlier, the children who come into the state's care and their parents or their circumstance that led them to be removed cannot be rectified in their best interest, and they cannot return to their birth parents or to kin. We then look at adoption for them.
For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Grenadians and other young Caribbean innovators issued a call to action during the Caribbean Development Bank's recently held 51st annual meeting. We get the details in this Krista Campbell report.
Be bold. Don't fear failure. Think differently about education. These were some of the key messages coming from the panel of young global and regional entrepreneurs in the final seminar of the Caribbean Development Bank's recently ended 51st annual meeting of its Board of Governors. In the seminar, panelists underlined the actions and thinking needed in the Caribbean to advance innovation, with a major point of discussion being how the education system can assist in developing innovators. Grenadian founder and Chief Executive Officer of Akata Farms, Bevan Shadell Charles, shared her thoughts on the current education system and called for a rethink of the role of the education sector.
Education plays a part not only for the development of our workforce, but creating mindsets. I don't think we're building enough innovators. So then we have to change our methodology of how we are going to approach learning.
Carlton Cummings, Barbadian co-founder of Acceleron, also commented on the education system in the Caribbean and zeroed in on the value of critical thinking.
We actually are doing relatively well when it comes to the global context of education. What I think though, because everything could do with some improvement, one of the things we do a lot of education on how to learn, how to take information in, how to absorb it. One of the things I think we need to do improvement on is how to think.
In addition to the panel discussion, the seminar featured Grenadian Brandon Brathwaite, winner of the Caribbean Development Bank's Youth Spoken Word Contest. Here's an excerpt from his winning piece.
Satoshi Tajiri was interested in collecting bugs and made sport of it in his neighborhood. Nowadays, a child with such interest would be labeled weird as he's not in his books. He managed to capture and record all their characteristics and made a directory of these creatures. And while educating himself in game design, became the brainchild of the world's most successful media franchise, Pokemon. Truth be told, he had the rarest education in this world, the education of oneself. Satoshi, had he been a Caribbean youth, would have been boggled with questions of what type of doctor, lawyer, or businessman he wants to be. Sadly, had this been true, the world would never know Pikachu.
This year's seminar also showcased expressions from young leaders around the region calling for public policy that promotes innovation, resilience, and inclusive sustainable development. Krista Campbell, GBN News.
A national cleanup campaign targeting white goods and bulky items is now on a less than 48 hours countdown. July 22nd to 24th are the dates set for the nationwide cleanup. We get the details in this report.
The Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority has recognized the need for a nationwide cleanup campaign after accessing its services and the response from the public. Myrna Julian, Public Relations Officer at the authority, says despite the positive reactions in terms of the disposal of regular household waste, Challenges have been identified in compliance for white goods and bulky items.
And even reluctance on the part of some householders especially to use the collection service. And so based on our assessment of what we're seeing in some communities, and based on feedback that we are getting from the Ministry of Health, especially when it comes to vector control and the vector control officers, doing the household inspections, etc., we have been observing that quite a lot of our residents, they're holding on to quite a lot of bulky items around the homes, and this leads to quite a number of concerns.
Public health concerns, she notes, are the major worry, especially during the rainy season, which facilitates the breeding of mosquitoes and the spread of vector-borne diseases.
And where you have clusters of, small bits of lumber, and you have broken up utensils and so on out there, and they're in clusters around your home, you'd also have the breeding of other vermin rats and so on. So we also have the concerns as they relate to, apart from the dengue fever, leptospirosis by rats. And the other issue has to do with us currently being in the rainy season, of course, the hurricane season. And once you have these vessels and these items outside, the potential for these items to become airborne during gusty, windy conditions. So we're praying that we do not have a storm or hurricane.
Julian is urging the general public to maximize on the initiative, as well as the other services offered for the safe removal of waste. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Trellona Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. Mondays Beyond the Headlines delved into the pension and gratuity issue currently faced by public workers.
This is not the pension for persons, it's an old age benefit, and that is the reason why the hypocrisy of the system, they deny to us what we should get, teachers and public officers, but they pass a law for they themselves, so that they are getting, some of these politicians are getting the 1958 pension, some of them are still getting the very NS old age benefit, and they are still getting the political pension after 2 terms. So some of them are getting 3 in 1, while the workers after 1985 are not getting anything, or just an old age benefit, and you cannot live on that.
Our online audience joined the conversation. This individual commented, the 50-20 to equal 70% was a big sellout by the various union representatives that negotiated and signed the MOU. Public officers are entitled to 75% government pension, likewise 33% NIS based on contributions made over the years. Sam commented, all I'm saying, this system sets up Grenadians to retire in poverty. Another individual added, the pension matter is before the court because persons are not getting their gratuities. It is before the court because some get 70% pensions in special cases, but in most cases, nothing at all for one nefarious reason or another. Jose commented, why is it that when the time comes for Grenadians to benefit from the contributions they made towards the development of Grenada, the administration always has to find an excuse to say they don't have the monies. But they will find it all the time, whether in the consolidated funds or not. They will find the monies to do unnecessary things that are not important at the time. For example, Grenlec. Glenroy commented, sad that an item as important as pension is treated so lightly. It's a warning too for those of you who do not see the importance of paying into the NIS. And May commented, it is so sad that a caring government, which spends more than 20 years in the driver's seat, puts its employees in a position where they retire after working for 35 plus years to security jobs, debushing, domestic work, and government poor relief just to make ends meet. That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the GBN ISA lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN Eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Just one seed could do the trick. So said our eyesore reporter when submitting tonight's feature. Shown is a photograph of a pumpkin grown in the backyard of our reporter. According to our citizen journalist, it weighed in at over 44 pounds. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Still ahead, 31 teachers who presently work at the preschool level completed one-year course on early childhood education. This is news at 7.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
Looking for a professional team offering around-the-clock, private and confidential nursing, medical care, and aid services? Then look no further. Nurses Care Grenada is a fully certified, insured, and licensed healthcare facility committed to the reduction and eventual elimination of healthcare disparities affecting the nation. Our registered nurses will visit you at your home, assess your condition, and provide the required treatment under the directive of a doctor. So why worry when there's Nurses Care Grenada? Give us a call, 406-3928. Nurses Care, reliable, trusted professionals we can all depend on.
The Sandals Foundation has joined the United States nonprofit Hands Across the Sea to pilot a literacy program targeting parental and community involvement. Details in this report.
The Sandals Foundation and Hands Across the Sea are collaborating to refurbish and outfit 65 school libraries across Grenada, St. Lucia, and Antigua. With data from the Ministries of Education across the Eastern Caribbean islands indicating deficits in early learning at the pre-primary level, the Sandals Foundation has joined the United States nonprofit Hands Across the Sea to pilot a literacy program targeting parental and community involvement. The new Early Readers pilot program is also supported by the Republic Bank and other local organizations and personnel. Results from this pilot will be used as a model for the next 5 schools that will be involved in the second phase of the project in the 2021-2022 school year and for implementation in other OECS countries. In January, despite challenges presented by COVID-19, the local coordinators, who are both retired education officers, safely provided digital and on-site support to teachers and parents, allowing for the rotation of 7 book titles over a 2-week period, with students across 5 schools, namely River Sally Preschool, Nehemiah Preschool, Windsor Forest Preschool, Limes Preschool, and Parkview Preschool. Led by two of Grenada's Literacy Links educators, Gloria Bonaparte and Bernadette John, the Early Readers pilot program saw close to 100 boys and girls between ages 3 and 5 and over 30 adults recently gathered at the National Stadium to share lessons learned and best practices following the successful completion of the literacy program. Bernadette John says data shows that some children are advancing to the primary level without basic literacy skills. She added that research indicates early literacy intervention is more effective at an early age. She believes with this program, gaps that exist can be filled at an early stage, as any time past grade 6 might be too late. Going forward, the Literacy Links hopes to see even greater parental involvement both at home and school. 5 new schools will be taken on board from October 2021, while work will continue with the 5 schools used in the pilot phase. For GBN News, Beverly Tellisville.
Over 30 individuals graduated today from the University of the West Indies Open Campus. The graduation gave teachers who are already in the education system a chance to upgrade their qualifications and better their profession. Rena Pear-Thomas tells us more.
Will the flames forever burn, teaching lessons we must learn to bring us closer to the power of the dream. As the world gives us its best to
It is indeed the power of a dream that brought these young ladies to the end of their journey as they proudly received their certificate of achievement from the University of the West Indies Open Campus Grenada. The graduating class consists of 31 teachers who presently teach at the preschool level and have completed a 1-year course on early childhood education. The course, which started in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic, was made possible by the Ministry of Education in collaboration with the University of the West Indies Open Campus Grenada. Minister for Education Emlyn Pear, in her remarks, told the teachers that the certificate they received will give them an opportunity to enter Teachers College and reminded them that it is never too late to learn.
I viewed it as a genuine encouragement that you should never stop learning, that learning must be lifelong, self-development must be a lifelong exercise that every person should commit themselves to.
The course was specifically developed with the aim to give early childhood teachers the opportunity to upgrade themselves and further enhance their capabilities as teachers. Minister Pear reminded the teachers of how important their role is as the foundation teachers.
The importance of these formative years of a child. We all know that, right? Very important. You are strategically placed. And so you ought to feel extremely proud to be at this level of the education system, where the impact you are going to have is more likely to be lifelong than higher levels of the education system.
Also attending the send-off was head of UE Open Campus Grenada, Mrs. Nicole Philip Dow, and other officials from the Ministry of Education. Mika Fraser was dubbed the most outstanding student in the graduating class. In her remarks, she reminisced on their journey.
A year? To some, this may seem like a short period, and such is true. But a year of brainstorming, balancing our career as teachers and our professional development, tears, and the unwavering feeling of losing our bearings on things. These are the things that make 1 year feel like 4.
The graduation ceremony was held at the Marisho House on H. Bliss Street on Tuesday. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
Congratulations to all those teachers. Stay with us. The weather and sports up next.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride,
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
At Bailey's Funeral Home, we understand the pain and grief you experience when you suffer the loss of a loved one. For years, we have helped thousands of families get through that difficult time by providing professional funeral services to meet their unique needs. Whether your choice is cremation or burial, call us or come into our new facility on the Carenage and meet with our arrangers in a spacious and comfortable environment. Choose from a wide variety of quality coffins and caskets at prices from as low as $1,900. At Bailey's Funeral Home, we believe that no one should feel overwhelmed or anxious about funeral expenses. So when it's time to plan a funeral, join a burial society, or make pre-arrangements when service and costs matter, call Bailey's Funeral Home at 440-2558 or visit us at baileysfuneralhome.org. Bailey's Funeral Home, still providing the perfect tribute any family can afford.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
And this is your weather forecast. Tonight's minimum temperature, 25 degrees Celsius, so still a little warm. The weather is fair to partly cloudy and hazy with the chance of a few light early morning showers. Winds east-northeasterly to easterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas moderate, waves 4 to 6 feet in open water. There are no warnings at this time. Tides are high at 11:11 p.m., such a magical number, and low at 9 minutes past 7 in the morning. Looking ahead, on Wednesday, the sun will rise at 8 minutes to 6 in the morning, and the weather is expected to be generally fair and hazy with a few light nighttime showers. On Thursday, partly cloudy with light scattered showers. And on Friday, the weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with light to moderate showers and possible isolated thunder showers. That's it for your weather forecast on GBN News.
Good evening, sporting fans. Grenadian swimmer Kimberly Ince, who departed the country on Saturday, has reunited with colleague swimmer Delron Felix, who was the first to arrive in Tokyo. On Tuesday, the duo were deep in training as they make their debut in the opening ceremony on Friday from Tokyo, Japan. Following the fanfare, the Grenadian swimmers will hit the pool, with Kimberly Ince participating in the 100-meter backstroke on Sunday at 6:02 a.m. Grenada time. Delron swims next Tuesday in the 100-meter freestyle, also at 6:02 a.m. Grenada time. Meanwhile, prior to Delron Felix's departure, he told GBN that he has high hopes that his and Kimberly's performances give a direct push for the construction of a 50-meter pool and aquatic center. Delron said the administrators need to put swimmers in a position where they can get support like other sporting disciplines. He also was elated to be in a place to progress the sport of swimming and do his part to advance swimming in the future.
Well, what's next is coming back home. I'm hopefully trying to forward the sport of swimming. I think I'm probably going to take a role where I help the people coming up after me, the ones that, not able to get the assistance, overseas, because I have the experience. My goal is to try to show everybody what they can really accomplish with swimming if they take it seriously and if they really try their best at it. So that's the plan moving forward, to bring everybody to a level where we can perform on a world stage.
The Grenadian swimmer addressed the COVID-19 concerns going into Japan.
As you speak about that, I just saw a report saying spectators are banned. It's a bit scary, I won't lie. We really just have to try to be safe, the whole team, avoid any unnecessary contact with anybody outside of the games. It's going to be tough because it is the Olympics and we are mingling with people from other countries. But if everybody follows the correct procedures, I don't see there being a problem. And hopefully everything goes as planned and there's no positive tests and we don't have anything holding back the process.
Moving on to football, the Spice Boys have been winless in their campaign thus far at the CONCACAF Gold Cup as they face Panama in their final group stage match. Grenada was officially eliminated by Qatar in another 4-0 defeat and have yet to register a goal in their previous 2 matches. Head coach Michael Findlay in the pre-match press conference on Monday said the tournament has been very challenging and the team members are now looking within to motivate themselves for the final match.
It's going to be difficult because Panama is coming in with I think an interest in trying to progress, and we have to do our best to deny that. And so this will be a great challenge for us. It will be a situation where we need to get our players motivated in the right manner and put our best foot forward.
Coach Findlay noted that all is not lost in terms of their objectives at the start of the Gold Cup.
From a vision point of view, it was very clear when I accepted the position I presented to the president and the board that we have to have a long-term view on this program and on this team. We also have to have a focus on the culture as it relates to the team, as it relates to the standards, both on and off the field at multiple age groups. And we also have to be organized and be in a position that we gain competition. What is happening to help the smaller nations within CONCACAF, I think, has already been established by CONCACAF with the Nations League. There is no doubt in my mind that is a game changer. And it's a game changer because it's presented opportunities for the teams to play competitive matches against other nations on a more regular basis.
Now on to cricket. West Indies white ball captain Kieron Pollard sees more specialist players coming in as replacements for some of the all-rounders who played in the just concluded T20 series when the team takes on Australia in the first 3 ODIs starting tomorrow at the Kensington Oval in Barbados. The West Indies are coming off a high after winning the 5-match T20 series 4-1 and are hoping to carry that momentum into the ODI series. Pollard, who missed the T20 series with a hamstring injury, expects several specialist players to come in for the longer formats. That's it for sports. Our One Caribbean Hookup is up next. This is your One Caribbean hookup. According to Haitian officials, Claude Joseph, who has nominally led Haiti as acting prime minister since the July 7th assassination of President Jovenel Moïse, will hand power to a challenger backed by the international community on Tuesday, 20th July 2021. We get details in this report.
Haiti's acting prime minister agreed to step down in the wake of the assassination of the country's president. In an interview with the Washington Post published on Monday, Claude Joseph said he would hand over power to Ariel Henry, a 71-year-old neurosurgeon. The late President Jovenel Moïse named Henry to the post of prime minister, but he had yet to be sworn in when gunmen stormed Moïse's home and killed him on July 7th. The announcement appears to end a power struggle in the Caribbean nation between Joseph and Henry. Joseph told the Washington Post that he and Henry had met privately over the past week. He added that he agreed to step down on Sunday, quote, for the good of the nation, and is willing to transfer power, quote, as quickly as possible. Moïse's assassination has pitched the already troubled nation into chaos. The murder comes amid a surge in gang violence that has displaced thousands of people and hampered economic activity in the poorest country in the Americas.
En reunión con Joseph Felix Badio.
A Colombian police chief said on Friday the assassination may have been ordered by a former Haitian Justice Ministry official. He cited a preliminary investigation that has implicated Haitian Americans and former Colombian soldiers. Martine Moïse, the assassinated president's widow, returned to Haiti on Saturday for his funeral after she was treated in a Miami hospital for injuries sustained during the attack.
Ahead of the July 26th elections, the St. Lucia Labour Party on Sunday unveiled its 2021 manifesto to the nation. The SLP, during a virtual launch, highlighted the key policy areas of focus for a potential St. Lucia Labour Party administration. One of the main promises made by the party's leader, Philip J. Pear, was the reduction of income tax as a tool to restore the island to a better economic standing.
To stabilize our economy and save jobs, businesses and families, we will provide income tax relief to low and middle income households. That means persons earning $4,000 a month and less will not pay income tax. This will put more cash in the hands of nurses, police officers, teachers, secretaries, public servants, hotel workers, technicians, and many others who will not pay tax on the first $48,000 of yearly income.
Internationally, a suicide bomber killed at least 35 people and wounded dozens in a Sadr city market in Baghdad on Monday. The armed group ISIS claimed responsibility for the bombing. Observers are concerned the country will see more violence as the upcoming parliamentary elections approach. We get more in this Al Jazeera report.
This is the aftermath of the attack on the Al-Wahaylat busy market in Sadr city, a majority Shia neighborhood in the east of the Iraqi capital Baghdad. The dead and injured include women and children. The market was crowded with people who went out shopping for the Muslim holiday of Eid al-Adha.
The explosion happened here during the busiest hour in the market. This is the gate of the market, and the blast occurred just when it became crowded. Bodies were everywhere. You would have walked on bodies of children, women, and elderly people, all human beings. Even if you tried to lift a body, you couldn't.
The government called it a terrorist attack and ordered the arrest of the local police commander as part of an investigation. Less than 24 hours before the attack, security forces announced the arrest of a top ISIL commander. ISIL had carried out similar attacks in the area this year. Observers are concerned the country is likely to see similar attacks as we approach the upcoming parliamentary elections, which they say could foment sectarian conflict and political rivalries in Iraq. Mahmoud Abdul Wahid, Al Jazeera, Baghdad.
That's it for your One Caribbean hookup. I'm Trellona Charles. Thank you for joining us.
Let's recap the headlines. Trade union senator reject motion tabled in the Senate as he says his motion seeking to discontinue mandatory vaccine was altered. Government conducting its first trial runs of the COVID-19 vaccine ID. Cabinet agrees to a moratorium and a halt to the addition of new buses to the sector as a means of support. In around the globe, St. Lucia Labour Party promises to reduce income tax ahead of the July 26th general elections. And at least 35 people killed and dozens wounded in suicide bomber attack in Baghdad. In sports, swimming duo reunited in Tokyo as they prepare to represent Grenada in the Olympic Games set to begin in 3 days. If you missed any parts of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television's Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Chrislyn Lashington. That's the news. We'll see you again. Good night.